Good morning, everyone. So, it's clear. The saying is absolutely true. Form is temporary. Class is permanent. Watching that game last night, which, listen, absolutely over the moon. We won the game, 3-0. Move on to the next round. We're still in it. So still something to fight for. Something to play for. But let's not kid ourselves that was a good performance. Poor old Sonny was almost invisible for a lot of that game, which is often the case. And it certainly has been this season for him. He's struggled to actually have an impact. But when he makes an impact, boy, does he make an impact. Now, the guys that were sat around with me yesterday, whilst I was watching the game with my pals, will tell you, just as Sonny was about to hit his first goal and hit that rocket that went in, I literally said the words, don't. And then he goes and puts it in the net. Fantastic finish, absolutely fantastic finish. And you cannot write him off in terms of that ability, because class is permanent. But I was sitting there literally, don't do that. Don't hit it from outside the box, because we've been doing that. We've been chucking it in there and we've been missing, and it's been going nowhere and we've not been getting anywhere. And then he goes and pulls a rabbit out of the hat. So I know nothing about football. I know nothing. And it's absolutely true. So what a banger. And was I over the moon to see it going? Of course I was, because it steadied the nerves. 1-0, get in there. Let's push on. And I have to say, the second goal for me was all about that little flick from Perisic. What a touch that was. And then you give him that space. His nice little turn, bangs it in, number 2. Settled, that's it, we're moving on. Great. We can all get that feel-good factor back in our lives. You know, Tottenham are still going on, and it will paper over the cracks. It will paper over the cracks that we've been, or certainly I've been moaning about over the last sort of couple of weeks, because we haven't been playing well and all the rest of it. But I'm sitting with my pals and we're talking about the football, and to be honest with you, I didn't feel like the game was any good. I didn't feel like we were playing very well. Yeah, we were fairly dominant. Preston really didn't put up too much, didn't have too many opportunities. But there's a difference, right? These are Championship side against Tottenham, right? So we're not playing a top team and outplaying them and all the rest of it. And we're not even scraping a win against the top team. This is Preston, and no disrespect to Preston, we should be expecting to beat them. But I would like to have seen a more dominant performance than that. But great, Danjuma comes on, our new and only signing currently, on loan. So, you know, again, not pulling any trees up. I don't know the guy. I don't know, you know, what his best position is. I don't know what he brings to the team and all the rest of it. I'm not a coach. I'm not a manager. If Conte says that he was one of the players that he wants, okay, fine. Let's have him. I'll support him. Let's see how he gets on. And I'll support him all the way, in the way that I support all the other players. But it doesn't really say I'm not going to call them out if they're not playing particularly well, because I think we should be able to be critical of the performance of the individual performances, of the manager's decisions, and so on. So I was, you know, the other thing I wanted to call out was Sanchez as captain. Where did that come from? Like, really? What's behind that thinking? You know, I was quite shocked. In my head, I was thinking maybe Lenglet, maybe Perisic. You know, maybe they would be the guys that you would put in that position. They got a little bit more experience. You know, they've won stuff and all the rest of it. Even Forrester, I thought maybe Forrester, you know, as a seasoned professional, bearing in mind that Hugo is normally captain, you would think that he might have got the shout. But Sanchez, I don't think I've ever even seen him talk to other players. So I was a little bit shocked. But you know, ultimately, the defence done well. They didn't play badly, but then they didn't really need to. You know, Japhet Tanganga played, and I like that lad. I really do. I feel for him because when he first played, he got 2 man of the match performances in his first 2 games, and he was doing all right. He'd been played out of position an awful lot, and then he got injured, and with the injury that went on for ages and ages and ages. And when he come back, he's lost his confidence. He's lost his, you know, he's kind of being on a roll, and so it's a shame for him because I liked him as a homegrown player. I like nothing better than a homegrown player actually playing well, actually doing well. You know, we all laud Harry Kane as being one of our own. It would be great to have, you know, another player in that ilk, you know, whether that be Skip or Tanganga or Harvey White or, you know, these other guys coming through. It would be great to have those homegrown players. It's exciting when you get a top player come from another foreign club, allegedly, because I can't remember the last time. But, you know, it's interesting that we really laud that. We're really happy with that. But for me personally, I love to see the homegrown players come through. But yeah, so in terms of the game last night, I thought it was a fairly flat performance. A lot of the game, certainly in the first half, I thought it was a bit of a huff and puff, and that was it. But the golfing class, when you've got a player like Sonny who can basically just bang it out like that, is amazing. It's great to see, and it just, like I say right at the beginning, class is permanent, form is temporary. Has he now started to hit form? Is this going to be the turning point for him to really kick on? Hope so. Really hope so. Do I know that's going to happen? Don't know. You don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? Because this is, like I said, this is a championship team that we are judging this on. But I think he would have put that, you know, a shot like that would have gone past most keepers. Would he have been given that space? That's debatable. But ultimately, we move on. It's a 3-0 win with Danjuma getting a goal on his debut. Not sure how much he meant of that. It looked a pretty scuffed shot to me, but they all count. It went in. He looks really happy to have scored it. He looked happy to be there. And the fans, of course, as always, were fantastic. That travelling support of Tottenham is amazing. And they sing and they sing and they sing and they make their voices heard, and that's great to see. So we move on to the next round. Let's see who we get. Hopefully someone that's an easier tie for us, given all the games that we've got coming up and how short the squad feels. You know, I'm hoping that we can get someone that can give us a bit of an easier run to the final. Would be amazing. You know, to get to an FA Cup final again would be amazing, and I'd love to see us lift that cup. I'd absolutely love it. It's a very, very special competition, and those people that think it's better to be in top 4 than it is to win the FA Cup have never seen their team win the FA Cup. I'd love to see it. So we keep the faith, we keep marching on, and as ever, we keep on saying, up the Spurs.